श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय। श्री पौलपुत्र हनुमान की जय। सबको जय सीताराम everyone. This morning we join with you once more in satsang, in puja, as we come together as one wonderful Sunday morning to offer thanks to Him, to offer praises to Him, to sing His and to hear about His Leela. In your homes, in your places of work, we invite you all to come together as one family. Let us indeed surrender ourselves to Him. Let us so all sing praises. To focus your mind on feeling to you. And let us all now clasp our hands, close our eyes, bow our heads, assume that position of reverence as we engage now in Hari Om. Krishna Mandir Bhasmangalaaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shudhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nagaraya Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandra Virase Raghunathaya Madhaya Sitaye Pataye Namah Om Manojagam Vivekam Jetindriyam Buddhimadam Karishtam Vadamajam Vadanayutamukam Shri Ramanutam Shri Namah Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. We join together in Kirtan as we glorify the name of Ganesh Bhagwan. O Prabhu, you are known as the Haran, the remover of all obstacles. This morning, devotees, brothers and sisters, we dedicate our service to the memory of a very beloved, very dear individual to thousands and thousands of persons in this country and indeed in many other parts of the world. A very young man by the name of Pandit Chaitram Hargonim, Pandit Ram as he is affectionately called, quite suddenly and very tragically relieved himself of his physical body through the sanskar will be performed this morning, and as that final rites and sanskar is being performed, that his Atma may be serene, may be blissful. We pray as well for his beloved wife, Lakshmi. We pray for his sons, and Vivekananda, that they will have the strength and courage to cope with the loss of their dear father. For his siblings, who are also the many, many persons who knew him. little boy in this mandir, had a very fond affiliation at our last Gita Jayanti celebrations together with his sons, where last year when we celebrated Mahashivratri for the last time in a normal face-to-face setting. And this morning, in a very untimely fashion, we are now marking his departure. May Bhagwan bless him. May Bhagwan bless his Atma. We offer all of our prayers and our support to his family and our friends.
Prabhu, you are the granted success. We pray to you this morning for success in all of our endeavors, in all of our undertakings. You are the remover of obstacles. We pray to you to remove all obstacles that lay in our pathway, whether they be physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, whatever type of obstacles, O Prabhu, we ask for them to be removed. This morning we join together, as we do every Sunday morning, in glorifying that Prabhu Shri Ram, Mahavir Swami. We sing his verses, the 40 verses of Hanuman Chalisa. This Chalisa that is well known to all of us. We sing with reverence, we sing with shraddha, with faith, that lustily as we praise you, O Mahavir Swami, that we will indeed be imbibed with that strength, with that courage, with that power, with that fortitude to indeed overcome. Let us now sing lustily the verses of Hanuman Chalisa.
Hare
Before we begin our provision for this morning, just by way of information, for many of our students who are in the SEA classes, writing CSEC, CAPE, and indeed for other students, the examination period, which has been deferred, is faster. Persons writing CSEC and CAPE, for students who are writing the SEA, it's early next month, and then we continue. Being performed to Saraswati Mata, whereby our students would come together and would be able to perform their puja as an act of thanksgiving and also to seek the blessings of Ma Saraswati. As we are all aware, that is not possible with the closure of mandirs and with the restrictions in place at homes and so on, quite rightly. So therefore, what we propose to do is on Friday coming, that's the Friday, the 18th of June, this Friday coming, we will be hosting at the Mandir, or through the medium of the Mandir rather, Mata Puja, which we invite particularly our students who are writing exams. This will be from 4 p.m. on Friday coming, so Friday the 18th of June from 4 p.m. And you will be getting your notifications, our members, by way of email and our WhatsApp group. I know members of the youth group will also be putting it on their Instagram page and other places, so that you can be apprised of what is required. But very briefly, we would invite you to have your Murtyo picture of Ganesh Bhagwan and Saraswati Mata, to have at hand flowers, some offering of prasad by way of fruit if possible, or any kind of prasad that you wish to offer, filling with a little bit of sugar and dahi. If you can have the following things at hand, it would be desirable. If not, then whatever you have, just be there with the Murti of Saraswati Mata. So flowers, as I said, leaves, group grass, pan leaves, neem leaves, and if possible, 1 or 2 bay leaves, if possible. As well, some of the items that may be in your puja room, such as some supari, sindoor, hardi, a little bit of clove and bugul, some washed white rice, washed and dried, a little bit of sugar as well. And in addition to that, some perfume, agarbatti, matches. If you can have a little bit of chandan, then that's fine. If you can. Further to which, we invite you to have perform your arti. Extra diyas prepared to be placed in front of the Murti of Saraswati Mata. If you happen to have a kalsa and parai, then kalsa and parai with the diya on top. That's if you have that, because puja stores are closed, we know. Lota with water and a hawan kund, if possible, and some mango wood. A little bit of ghee and a katori. And those are the main items that we would want you to have. If you are able to make the ancillaries like a little bit of panchamrit, then that would be desirable as well. But most importantly, if you have none of those things, but you simply have a flower and the Murti of Saraswati Mata, then that is sufficient. And join with us on Friday evening from 4 p.m. where we will be performing very simple step-by-step puja to Saraswati Mata, particularly for our students as they are about to engage in their various assessments, and so that they can offer thanks to the Divine Mother for all of the blessings that they have been bestowed with, as much as students may think otherwise, and also to give them that divine inspiration as they prepare to undertake these various assessments. So we look forward to seeing you with us on Friday evening, that's this Friday, from 4 p.m. And those of you looking on, please, you can share the invitation to other members and so on that you can come into contact with, or your friends and so on. Alright, so the same medium on Friday from 4 p.m. This morning, in line with our dedication program, as I said, for those of you who just joined us, a very, very wonderful, very special young man, a dynamo in the community, a pandit who was engaged as an apatar that would have performed many services for persons who've lost their loved ones and assisting others in terms of whatever needs they might have. That kind of a very gift of high office as well, who all could be attributed to him and his dedication. Importantly, however, was what stood out was his outstanding position as a father to his two sons. This morning in that vein, I want to speak about the theme of responsibility. In Ram Katha, we are very familiar, all of us, of his ministers, and upon his own observation, recognized that the time had come for him to someone else because he was getting on in age. Responsibility, and I'll use this word frequently, as a leader to engage in Sri Ram as the one who was most suitable to be bestowed with the title. So Raja Dashrath recognized his responsibility in order for this entire Leela to be played out. Kekeyi Mata, being persuaded by Mandara that this should not occur, sought audience with Raja Dashrath, and she, as we know, sought of him those boons that were promised to her by him many years before. And those boons were that instead should be banished to the forest for 14 years. And instead, for Bharat to be crowned, a station felt by Raja Dashrath. Who was he? He answered to no one. And so he had a decision as to whether he was going to fulfill those boons. Very well he could have said, I am king, I disregard your wish. But he recognized his responsibility. He honored his responsibility by giving Kekeyi, or granting to Kekeyi Raj. Sri Ram was then summoned, saw his father in a very pitiful state, a state of distress, and went on inquiry like this on the floor in this particular state. And when he was advised by Kekeyi Mata the reason for his circumstance, the boons being made and the very willingly accepted the response and the promise of his father. As a son, he could have said, I want to have nothing to do with that. It was within his right to say that. But the example and the illustration and the teaching words of a parent, and so very willingly fulfill. We can go on, brothers and sisters, about many other examples taught about the benefit of fulfilling one's responsibility, sometimes even to the death, and the great punya that is acquired by doing that. Ram was an individual who recognized his responsibility to his parents. So many speakers, and indeed from my own personal knowledge, we know that at a very young age he lost his father in an accident. Driver of a vehicle recklessly overtaking, and he was very young. He then, as a dutiful son, continued to serve his mother. And last night, and again in that online tribute, many persons spoke about how powerful it was to see him serve his mother. Indeed, that responsibility being discharged on his marriage, continuing to the time of his passing, discharging his responsibility as a beloved husband. Again, it was spoken of that whenever he went out with his brother Pandits and they were having a meal, the first thing he would do is make for his family. We saw his responsibility at this time. And unquestionably, as again another speaker said last night, that what stood out to him on meeting Pandit Ram was when his son spoke at his birthday, spoke out of a sense of love, as young teenage boys being moved to tears when they spoke about the love that they had. More than that, he recognized his responsibility to society and fulfilled that responsibility in many, many aspects of his undertaking. So that passing, one may say his life was terminated at an early age and before time, and many persons. But as one speaker remarked last night, it is not the quantity of our lives that matter, but it is the quality of our lives. The quality of what we do with however long we have or however short we have. What do we do with this life? Is it selfish and self-centered and only about ourselves? Or is it like this young man? Not perfect, but trying and trying and trying, so that in his 44 years, and for his family alone, but for his community, is great. And that is the legacy that he's left for his sons to follow. Morning, I contemplate that. And I contemplate our own circumstance. That I feel constrained 3 days ago, seeing a picture on the front page of a newspaper, a daily newspaper, of a construction company. I don't recall his name right now. Having on the sidewalk and the pavement outside the St. Martin. This was not something that was staged. The day before, were forced to line up very close to health centers throughout this country in the hot sun, times, without information, without a seat, without a drink of water, and were left there without information as to how long they would have to wait, whether they would get a vaccine, or anything of that nature. One that put a risk to super spreading of the COVID-19. You're most vulnerable in society. The one that we care the most about, that we must protect the most. And did it again the next day as well. Where is the response? So we had a very interesting apology coming the following day, but it wasn't fixed. And this young man, recognizing that as a human being he had a responsibility, he took it upon himself, not only in St. Martin, but he went to Gasparilla, he went to other health centers and did the same thing. And I understand he was putting up tents as well, just so that these persons, or elderly, or vulnerable, would not be subject to these unkind, oppressive, and harsh circumstances. Where was the responsibility of the people in authority, who we put there, whose salaries we pay, to make sure that that didn't happen? I was bemused yesterday when I looked when at the end of it all, a reporter was questioning whose decision was that? Who takes responsibility for that? And what are the consequences of responsible? And if he was an honorable minister, then he should be nation. That is what you do if you are responsible. As that, where you had months to prepare, boasting about your plans in place, when called upon to do it, that was the utter fiasco and mess. That was your responsibility, minister. And you failed with a big letter F for failure. So, instead, the Honorable Prime Minister says, I accept responsibility. Well, if you accept responsibility, then do the honorable thing. Let us have your offer of resignation. and let somebody else, who may be more competent, discharge the function. Because we are truly in a dire state of affairs with the missteps, the mistakes, and the failures. And unfortunately, the stories keep changing at every press briefing. So yesterday I heard at least 3 versions of the Sinopharm Bible coming from the Honorable Prime Minister, who simply wasn't even aware that the second dose has to be given 3 to 4 weeks after. Instead, how can I know that? I'm not a doctor. But I am acutely aware of what's happening on the ground. Are our leaders aware of what's happening on the ground? Do they accept responsibility for what is happening on the ground? So I say this because that picture and the life of Pandit Chetram reminds me of all that is good in this country and all that is not right in this country. We in front of us. And sometimes when we lose hope and we become disenchanted, we must recognize and reflect that there is still so much good in this country of ours. There's still so much good people who are motivated by service and not by ego, and not by arrogance, and not by the quest to hold office, and not by any other trappings, but they are motivated by the willingness and dedication to serve others. That is leadership. That is persons who exercise responsibility. And on the other hand, and unfortunately in many areas of our high office, we have abject and total failures embedded there. And the question is, how do we remove those failures and replace them with competent people? That's for us to decide. But let us focus this morning on the positive. That the negatives are destroyed by the light of illumination, by the light of knowledge, by the light of the ignorance, and all of the darkness that seems to exist throughout our society. Let us continue to make a positive impact on our society. And as one Pandit also said last night, and I'm quoting him, sometimes it is unfortunate that we eulogize persons when they die. I think it was Pandit Sunil Sudhahal Maharaj who said this. That attitude. Let us make the attempt to all of those persons who in the midst of this pandemic are trying, are working, are giving of them reward or praise or acclamation. The many doctors and nurses who are trying even today, they are trying their best. They are trying their best. When that whole foolish said that is a bad idea, every sensible, right-thinking person said that so many people to take out of. What planet is he living on? People are begging for vaccines. They will do anything to get it. And you couldn't believe that people. What are you living on? One might ask, well, you know what, hand it in and go by Kelvin and he doubles. Because you seem to be very much, but not about what is going on the ground. What are the things that we can do? What are the things that we have the wherewithal to do? Whether it's a meal to somebody who's lost their job, whether it is a hamper that we can give to somebody, whether it is some assistance to a child in terms of their If you are an employer and you are able to sustain the income, even a reduced income of your employee, then do that. Whatever can be done that you put into positions of responsibility. And when we have the ability to hold people responsible for when we put them there, and for goodness sake, let us remember these days. The bright light of our country has been extinguished. And it was not under Jacob. But he has by his own. Having Mandir, we make a commitment as well. Months ahead to assist his family. We make that commitment that we will be there, whether they require advice or whatever we can do, we will be there. Because he was a good person with a good heart. I was supposed to have an appointment with him tomorrow. Tomorrow morning to meet with Pandit Chekra, because he had another engagement at 11. Our life is. Let us remember that sometimes when we expect certain things, that those best laid plans are sometimes unfulfilled. And let us don't defer the things that we can do now for some time in the future. However small it is, whatever little it might be, it could make a tremendous difference in the life of someone. Don't let us defer what we can do now. This is my message. I hope that I have offended some persons. I really do hope so. I hope that I have shaken some senses, and I hope that we can think about these things a little bit as we move forward to perform our own good and noble actions. Shri Krishna, as we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya this morning, at this time the Antishri Sanskar of Pandit Jetram is well on the way. It was due to start at 9 a.m. And we pray for the blessings of his Atma. We pray as well for all of those persons who passed through varying circumstances, whether it be COVID or otherwise. Their soul. That Bhagavan, you provide strength and you provide courage to their loved ones who are left behind. And that you provide us all with that inspiration to go and to do the things that we should do and the path that we should traverse. Let us sit upright, let us close our eyes, and together let us chant and send and exude those positive thoughts and those positive vibrations. We chant together.
Om Namo Bhagavate
together now as we render our final arati. This bread, man, that we consider our arati. Jai Jagadishari. We glorify you, O Bhagavan. You are indeed the Supreme Master.
Om Jai Jagadish Hari Swami Jai Jagadish Hari Bhakti Januti Santayu Bhakti Januti Santayu Om Jai Jagadish Hari Jodhari Bhattapari Mukhavi Vaise Mandikara Swami Mukhavi Vaise Mandikara Sukha Sampati Jayade Sukha Sampati Jayade Harshati Jayadekara Om Jai Jagadish Hari Mata Pita Rumani Sharinga Mukti Saki Swami Sharinga Mukti Saki Tumadina Arana Guja Tumadina Arana Guja Ashevero Niseki Om Jai Jagadish Hari Om Jai Jagadish Hari Swami Jai Jagadish Hari Bhakti Januti Santayu Bhakti Januti Santayu Janani Sudhakari Jai Jagadish Hari Om Jai
As we conclude our puja and our satsang this morning, O Prabhu, we come before you filled with that knowledge that you are all merciful, you are all compassionate, you are all knowing, and you are omnipresent. We recognize your presence, O Prabhu, not only all around us, but indeed most firmly within each and every one of us. You, O Lord, and Mother and Father, and your family, your friend, your knowledge, your wealth, everything to us. This morning, we pray for the Atma of all those persons who have left us. Those persons who have left behind their loved ones, we ask that you give them that strength, that courage, that fortitude to continue on and to overcome this difficult time. Persons who may be ill in the hospitals, may you bless them. Persons who may be ailing at home, may you also bless them. May you provide us all with that strength and that inspiration to overcome these difficult times. For we repose our confidence and our faith in you, O Prabhu. Bless us, guide us, and inspire us, O Lord. We join together in prayer. Tvameva Mata Shravika Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Shasika Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Saranam Mama Deva Deva Om Sadoma Sargamaya Namasoma Jyotirmaya Mrityurma Mritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om
प्रिंसफुल श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, मापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पुत्र हनुमान की जय, प्रिंसफुल श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। सब कोई जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम, जय सीताराम। Brothers and sisters, we are very pleased and happy to join with you this morning in this 1 hour of satsang that we conduct every Sunday morning from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Again, may God bless you and your family in the upcoming week. Please be mindful of the and the health requirements and regulations that continue to develop and evolve as we go along. Continue to follow all of the safety measures and protocols as well. Even if you have already gotten, by good fortune, your first shot of your vaccine, or even fortuitously the second shot, please, you are required to continue the mask wearing, hand washing and sanitizing and physical distancing. Once more, you are all invited to join with us on Friday, this Friday the 18th of June from 4 p.m. where we join together to be sending it out via email and via WhatsApp and other media. We look forward to seeing you with us again therefore. Next Sunday, very special.